Well, I'm really not in the mood of doing player ratings, but because I should really do what we call the due allegiance to the people who are watching this channel. Obviously, I have to come in through and obviously do them. So welcome to the Reunited Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. So my due allegiance to you is to bring you the latest player ratings in here for you. Smash the like button close to 200 times and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I know that most of you, the United fans, haven't gone ahead to wake up on the right side of your bed because of that draw that went ahead to get, because I thought this was going to be one of those wins that would have gone ahead to collect as a club of Man United and really get back to pair for the side of Chelsea. But our spell against the London teams has gone ahead to obviously continue, as we found ourselves in a position of not winning or beating another team in London apart from Fulham. You know, we've not beaten Arsenal in London, not Chelsea, not Tottenham Hotspur, not Crystal Palace. You know, those are the teams that are always in London, and they've gone. West Ham, by the way, have we gone ahead to beat West Ham away? The answer is no. You know, on 2 consecutive times away from home, we've gone ahead to lose to West Ham. The last season we lost by 1-0, a mistake by David De Gea, and this season we lost by 2-0. So it shows you how ugly we are in London, and something needs to be done about it. And against Chelsea, it is really looming a draw or a loss to the club of Man United. Happy Easter Sunday to every Christian all over the world, and all those that are really watching this channel, and your Muslims and those that are not watching in. Happy Ramadan, right? Because I know there are those Muslims that totally go off social media to see to it that they really exalt Allah to the fullest in the due course of the holy month of Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak. But let's get to the player ratings. Onana, trust me, he's one of the best players on the field of play yesterday, and each and every time you see to it that your goalkeeper is going to hit to be one of the best players, that just get to know he has been attacked a lot by the opponents in there for you. And he takes a 6 out of 10 from me. That is it. That is David Raya for you. Diego Dallo, one of the best performing players on the field of play. The interceptions he made and blocks in the first half, and in the second half he did a lot. He's this kind of player who will give you 100%, and he's really doing great. He's done this justice by players who don't track back, and how the team fails to transit into the final third of the pitch. But he gets a 6.5 for me as Diego Dallo, though I never saw him going forward a lot, like utilizing that space. He had a shot at goal, so that is Diego Dallo for you. But I think he was one of the best performing players on the field of play, and he walks away with a 6.5 out of 10. We go to Bissaka. He really had a little bit of a horrible game. He was really schooled, though he defended very well and kept in tight with the pole that's supposed to defend. But I think the goal we conceded would have gone ahead to do better. To really know where he's supposed to be in there for you. So I'm giving him a 5.5 out of 10. That is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We go to Varane. By the way, in the first half, Varane, Dallo, and Lindelof were the best players on the field of play, and Kobe Menu. That is it. That shows you how bad we looked, because we had to defend a lot. And I tell you, if you're having Varane into that game, all Evans, we don't concede that goal that we concede because of how good they are when it comes to game reading. Varane, 6 out of 10 for me for the 45 minutes he played, but the red flag still lingers onto him of inconsistency in there for you. Because if Varane plays 90 minutes, we don't concede that goal, because our positional discipline is totally different, and our command in the central defense is totally different. But Lisandro Martinez unfit, Harry Maguire returning from injury, obviously you feel like they had not had what we call a total match fitness to come in through and really do the job. Lindelof, 5.5 out of 10 for me. He also got off injured. So the central defense partnership that went ahead to start that game got off the field injured. That is it. They got off the field injured. And we go to the midfield. Kobe Menu, 6 out of 10 for me. He really had what he had to do. He was ill, and he was exposed to a late fitness test, and the assessment felt like he could play only 60 minutes for the club of Man United. And after the hour mark, he was taken off, and then I think Casemiro was brought on to see to it that he puts in a required shift for the club of Manchester United into the mix. So that is it for Kobe Mainoo 6. Scott McTominay, I'm gonna get him a 4 out of 10. He's really one of those players that I think really had nothing to offer in that game. And you ask yourself, what does it take to obviously substitute players like him and take them off the field of play? That is really a very huge question that Ten Hag has to answer. Why do you keep Scott McTominay on the field of play? Why do you keep Bruno Fernandes on the field of play? I really went ahead to address all that in the match reaction that I did yesterday, close to 1 hour video. If at all you feel like you want to get more of that, it's the position you're supposed to go in and hit watch it. So that is Scott McTominay 4 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes 3 out of 10. This guy, I'm still in shock how this guy plays 90 minutes. You're having 2 number 10s on your bench, Eriksen and Mason Mount, and you cannot really take Bruno Fernandes off and really tell him that, please, all what you are doing is shit. This is where I really come in to attack Erik Ten Hag, because you can't tell me that Bruno Fernandes deserves not to be substituted. Yet he's really performing very badly. He also admitted while away at Portugal that he's having a very bad season for himself, and he's not playing as supposed to be playing. But you keep him on the field of play, yet the guy is doing totally nothing. And we all admit that he's really struggling. And if a real player is struggling, why don't you take him off? You take off Casemiro, you take off Varane, you take off Garnacho, you take off Kobe Mainoo, Rashford, and Rasmus Højlund. Then who is Bruno Fernandes not to be taken off the field of play? I think he's one of those players that we should look at even selling. So for Bruno Fernandes, I'm giving him a 3 out of 10. Garnacho, 3.5 out of 10. He never showed up. He was nowhere in that game of football. He was nowhere in that game of football. That is Alejandro Garnacho for you. Then we obviously go to the what is it called? We go to Rashford. A 3 out of 10. His body language was poor. He had nothing to offer. Very selfish. Slowing down the game. Couldn't really put us into the positions that he wanted as a club of Man United. So that is Marcus Rashford for you. He's getting a 3 out of 10 for me. Then I go to Rasmus Højlund. 5 out of 10. He did what he had to do. Even in the goal we score, you see to it that he really had to throw his body in the defender to obviously create some space and really see that ball go to Casemiro, and Casemiro released, and Mason Mount went ahead to score. Now we go to the substitutes. Harry Maguire 4 out of 10. Lisandro Martinez 4.5 out of 10. Casemiro 5 out of 10. He came up with the assist for that goal that went ahead to score. Then Anthony 4 out of 10. Mason Mount, for me, he takes a 6.5 out of 10 because he's the only reason we never went ahead to lose that game. It was written all over the wall that Brentford was going to score a goal. That is it. And it was just a matter of time because they really went ahead to attack us left, right, and center, and they gave us a beating that they would have gone ahead to give us a beating that we really deserved. But it's because of Mason Mount's goal that went ahead to put us ahead of the team that was supposed to have scored in the first half way back, like 60-70 minutes back, because after 15 minutes of that game, Man United were nowhere to be seen. We were nowhere to be seen, and we couldn't obviously put in the required shift as a side of Man United. So Mason Mount, he gets that. Erik Ten Hag, 3 out of 10 for me. He managed this game really badly, though I came up in the match reaction and told you that however much the manager did what he had to do, but for whichever player he named in the starting 11 was supposed to put in a shift to win that game of football. But that reminds us the importance of the midfield, that United should look in for CDM. That is it. This culture of like Scott McTominay is not for sale, Rashford is not for sale, and Bruno Fernandes are untouchable by the club of Man United is really stupid. Stupid. We should sell off those players. We should get in decent CDMs, a decent number 10 to obviously kill off such games. So That is it. Eric Ten Hag is getting a 3 out of 10, and my man of the match, I'm giving it to Mason Mount, scoring his first goal for the club of Man United, though we drew, but he went ahead to really score his first goal. And if at all we never conceded, it would have been one of the best goals that we'll ever want to remember in the season of Man United. But kudos to Mason Mount as we go away to play against Chelsea. That is a charge that I believe he's supposed to take on and see to it that he continues to do the job for the club of Man United. Happy Easter to you all, and the Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak. We out.